So we're going to shift gears a little bit and talk about the different jobs and career paths that are available to graduates within the urban agriculture industry. So Matt, this question is for you. What opportunities do you see for agriculture in the future and the career opportunities that exist?
I think one of the big ones is going to be for facilitation and education. A lot of people have a big interest in growing their own food at home, having kitchen gardens, or even just a green space. But there's a lot holding people back. I think a lot of it is confidence. They don't know how deep they should dig their gardens. They don't know what they should put in there. They don't know if they need to fertilize, do anything like that. And a lot of people, they don't want to make mistakes. It's really expensive to get started. So I think a really big career path for people is going to be showing people how to start, really.
So the next question is to Natalie. Natalie, can you tell us about some of the exciting trends you see in the urban agriculture industry for youth seeking careers in this space?
To piggyback on what Matt said, definitely the education and workshop facilitation. And that's in a lot of different spaces, whether Toronto Public Library, for example, or community centers, seniors' homes. The pandemic, like Jen said, sort of showed everybody how vulnerable we are, and people want to learn how to grow their own food. So definitely that's one. Agri-tech, for a lot of kids who are maybe into technology, a lot of the urban growing solutions, whether they're hydroponic or aquaponic or vertical grow, uses some sort of technology, some automation. So agritechnology, I'd say, would be definitely an area for youth looking for something to get into. School spaces, to piggyback on Paul with the urban growing solutions, using school yards, school grounds. Schools sit on large acreage. So to use David and Mary Thompson Collegiate in Scarborough as an example, I think having more horticulture in the schools, the opportunity exists for youth to partner with schools, bring that horticulture education, bring that hands-on component, and assist with some of the, maybe running a school farm.
Jen, you have a unique career path, so hoping you can tell us about your career path and how you landed in your current position at the Barrett Centre and why you've chosen to pursue this.
Yeah, I definitely have taken a bit of a winding road to arrive here. I think the one interesting piece is that ever since I was a kid, I always wanted to be outside. And my mom sometimes would joke that my first sentence was, I want a dog, I want a horse, so I've always wanted to have that connection to nature. And so through different periods of my life, it's manifested in different ways, from working on horse farms and learning about exchanging mucking stalls for rides and these types of things, and followed up by the education at Trent, which is where I really fell in love with market gardening and small scale growing. Because I felt so, we learned so much about how the climate is in crisis and all of these problems, and agriculture felt like a space that was offering solutions. And so that felt really empowering. And so I worked on small scale farms for a long time, and I really wanted to be able to share my love of farming from a different position, because as much as it's really important to be on the ground growing, I wanted to talk about it and share this thing I love with more people. And so that's kind of, in a roundabout way, it kind of helped me arrive here at the Barrett Centre, where I get to talk about farming to people and help share and educate about it. Yeah.
Great, thank you, Jen. And Jen is, as I said, in Durham College's project management program. So we have students from across all of our faculties, not just in our horticulture programs, from marketing to photography, project management, business, administration. So there's a lot of career paths that can end up in urban agriculture that you wouldn't necessarily traditionally think would be the path. Okay, so going to shift a little bit now and talk about the RBC Urban Agriculture Work Integrated Learning Program and the growth opportunities that something like this via Durham College provided to our panelists, their businesses, and their communities. So first up is to Cassandra. So Cassandra, you received a grant from RBC through the Urban Agriculture Work Integrated Learning Program. How did this grant help you define and accelerate your career path?
Well, receiving this grant definitely helped me accelerate my career path. It was something that I'd always wanted to do, but just didn't know how to start. So having the mentors to help with the starting of the business definitely helped launch it, as well as having the funds just to be able to buy the equipment that I needed, the stuff that I didn't already have. This was very, very beneficial for me.
And that's often something a lot of entrepreneurs face is you have a great idea, but you don't necessarily know what the first step is, or the startup costs are very costly, especially in the agriculture industry. A lot of the tools and equipment and even just the licensing and admin things that you don't think about are costly. So it's great that gave you that chance to jumpstart your business. Thank you, Cassandra. So Paul, how does your experience as a graduate of Durham College and as a recipient of the RBC grant help you to expand your business?
Wow, these big questions. So Durham, to start with, I guess Durham College, just looking at the food and farming program was so interesting to me even before I started. It really takes that field to fork to field mentality and brings it into reality. So not only are we learning the science of growing, we're also learning the science of food preservation and food science as a whole. So it prepares us not only to grow the food, but then what to do with it to create a value-added product after we've grown that. So Durham College provided that foundation. But while I was there, I was also able to take advantage of the Work Integrated Learning Program, which gave me the ability to take that learning and knowledge and utilize it firsthand at the Center for Food at the Whitby campus. And then when the Barrett Foundation started, being able to take advantage of that program to also get that experiential learning and really put the things that I learned into practice. So in the fields and pulling weeds and growing food and actually harvesting it, and then what you do in a post-production facility after to make sure that the food is ready to go out to market, and then actually marketing it at our Durham College Farmers Market. Those sorts of things really prepared me to start the business that I started. Because what we're doing with Urban Farm Solutions is growing food and then taking that food and donating it on behalf of our tenants to Community Care, Durham, or another food bank in around the GTA. So having that experience and being able to go out with confidence and be able to take a green space that had nothing growing on it except for grass or weeds and turn it into a productive urban agriculture environment, I couldn't have done that without Durham College and the Barrett Centre and the Weston Centre as well. Integrating the RBC grant into that, as Cass said, working with some of these corporations, you need insurance, liability insurance that costs you a couple $1,000s a season. You've got bookkeepers that you need for taking care of your business on a day-to-day. So all of those things were paid for out of the grant, which was helpful to kickstart, especially when you're just coming out of school. So yeah.
And I think as Paul touched on, a lot of businesses are taking that sustainability approach and starting to think about some of these areas. So again, thinking about career paths, a lot of larger organizations and companies are looking for people with this background to be able to speak to. So my next question is back to Natalie. So Natalie, your project within the RBC grant focused on supporting the community while also growing your career. Can you please tell us more about your experience and how an urban agriculture social enterprise project helped you get where you are today?
Thank you. So my RBC grant, I used that to expand the Durham College Farmers Market. And I had 3 points that I wanted to expand. I wanted to expand it to include other vendors. We included student and alumni businesses, a local farmer from Northumberland. I think we had as many as 4 additional vendors other than just the farmers market. We also expanded to the North Campus. For the first time, we had a farmers market on Tuesdays at the main Oshawa campus. And that was a really great experience because it showed me how necessary fresh food is in the community. It wasn't just the students that were appreciative and utilized the farm each week. It was the staff. I had regular customers every week. The grant also, sort of afforded me the ability to move between campuses. I transported the produce between the main Whitby farm to the Oshawa, so it was a lot of that sort of transportation.
Perfect. Thank you, Natalie. And one thing that Natalie also didn't mention is diversifying the crops that were grown at our market as well. So we had a lot of really exciting different crops. I believe the hot peppers were a hit this year.
So the third key point was to diversify the market by including more culturally appropriate food items. So one of the big food crops, I'd say Scotch bonnet pepper was the winner for the year. I don't need another Scotch bonnet pepper for the rest of the year. My freezer is full. And Jamaican callaloo, we had okra, we had, Lord, I can't even think of the seasoning peppers, Tobago seasoning peppers. In peppers alone, we had maybe 5, 6 new varieties. It was crazy with peppers. My husband doesn't want to see any more peppers.
And they were very popular at the market too, I think.
They were the first things that sold at the Tuesday Oshawa market, our very, very first market. The first thing that I sold was a Scotch bonnet pepper, so that did make me feel a little proud.
And our next question is back to Cassandra. So Cassandra, what are some ways that youth can get involved in agriculture and horticulture, whether rural or urban, now to see if this is something potentially of interest for them down the road?
To get involved, there's definitely different ways you can go about this. There's some great associations out there. So 4-H Ontario is a great one to get involved with if you want to get involved in agriculture at all. Even just getting hands-on, getting out there, getting involved, going out to your local gardens, volunteering, going to your garden center, asking questions is all a great place to start.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, is just kind of getting out there and experiencing it. There's a lot of community gardens that exist as well in our communities, and a great spot, like you were saying, Cassandra, to get involved. So that's great. Thank you. Okay, and so now this is a question to all of the panelists. So maybe we'll start at the end with Jen and then move down. So what is something you know now about your career that you wish you could have told your 13-year-old self?
It's gonna be okay. I feel like I've often been someone who had so many various interests, and I could never quite pin down exactly where I was gonna land, but I wanted to be connected to the outdoors. I wanted to be connected to agriculture, and I didn't know how that was gonna play out, but it's okay. And I feel like landing here at the Barrett Centre has been a really interesting position because I get to do so many of the different things I love. I get to be involved with farming. I get to talk to people. I get to help plan and organize things. And yeah, it's going to be all right.
Thanks, Jen. Paul?
Yeah, I've got a 13-year-old son. He just turned 14, so I know what the answer would be, and it would be something along the lines of, I don't know. But no, if I had to talk to my 13-year-old self about career, I'd say follow your passions, do something that you love, and don't be afraid to experiment. Don't be afraid to try new things and take a chance on some stuff.
Great. Cass?
Okay, along same line as Paul, just follow your passion, do what you love, and everything else will come. Don't worry about following what everybody else is doing.
Great, thank you. Matt?
I would say Elder Scrolls Oblivion can wait, go outside. Oh, it's a RPG. I spent my entire summer playing that game. I could have done something much more productive. I wish I'd started going outside earlier. Yeah.
So get outside. Got it. Okay. Natalie?
I feel like I've come full circle, and this summer my mom actually said to me that I'm pretty much the same as I was when I was 10 years old. So I think I would tell 13-year-old me to, like everybody said, follow your passions, and you'll find your people. Don't worry about trying to find the job or the thing. I mean, if something doesn't work out, start over and do something else. Pivot.
Wonderful. Thank you, everybody. I'll just close it out here by saying thank you to everybody who came today to listen to our panel. Hopefully there were some good ideas about career opportunities in urban agriculture and some unique stories from each of our panelists. That wraps it up for today. Thank you very much. And I'd just like to give a round of applause to all of our panelists. Thank you very much.